Quite another wild day in markets, 52.54. That's the number I want you to keep in your head, Scarlett, because that was the record high for the S&P 500 back on March 28th. It's been 6.5 weeks or so since it even came close to that level, but it came close to it today. The close today at 52.46 and change, and we should point out it did trade above that 52.50 level. Quite a turnaround from really just 4 weeks ago when the S&P had dropped below that 20-day, dropped below the 50-day, and dropped below the 100-day, and everybody thought the next step down was even lower. That is a big turnaround, a re-embrace of risk assets. You see that in the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. You see that coming into the bid. And, well, a lot of the solar stocks, and some of that is less to do with animal spirits, Scarlett, and a lot more to do, of course, with those, I guess you call them subsidies, if you will, or tariffs that the Biden administration is putting in place to protect U.S. industries.
Protectionist measures, however you want to put it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the day's big movers here. We're going to start with On Holding. This is the Swiss sneaker maker that's backed by Roger Federer, climbing more than 18% on the day after raising its full-year sales forecast. One analyst says that the higher guidance is actually due to favorable currency swings, so there's actually room for the company to raise its guidance even further, maybe later this year. On the flip side, Paramount Global, this is the streaming company. They own Viacom, they own CBS, Showtime, down 5% on the day, tumbling at midday after CNBC reported that Sony and Apollo are rethinking their bid for Paramount. That's not to say that a deal can't happen, but they haven't gotten very far. The discussions haven't reached a point where they're actually doing due diligence, and Sony has signed an NDA. The other thing to note as well is that Comcast said that it is bundling its streaming service, its Peacock streaming service, with Netflix and Apple TV+. So that might be another source of pressure on Paramount. Our top story this hour, Goldman's view on credit risk. Bloomberg sat down this week with top executives from the firm. CEO David Solomon told us that he sees an uptick in deal making, while global head of asset and wealth management Mark Nachman shared plans to build up an Asian private credit business. Well, now it is President John Waldron's turn to discuss high yield and leveraged finance markets.